What a strange and mournful day, strange and mournful time we are in the middle of here at the Star in Frisco. And of course, with Cowboys Nation, there's the matter of the football team and where it sits, and that's not good. There is the matter of the oddity of the schedule, where it really does seem like the Baltimore Ravens keep getting moved so the NFL can leave them at as full strength as possible. As we speak, they're supposed to play Wednesday night, which we'll get to as it relates to the Cowboys in a moment. And then there is how you juggle all the things that go on in football, the way you do as a fan, the way I do as in my career, in my job, and then the way you juggle the football world if you work for the Cowboys, play for the Cowboys, coach for the Cowboys, with real world issues, which takes us to the Markus Paul funeral. Here's the next 24 hours for the Cowboys. They are practicing today outside here at the Star. I'll be going out there here momentarily. Chilly weather out there. Probably a good idea to practice outside if you're trying to get ready for what you might face on a Tuesday night now. Not Thursday, not Monday, but Tuesday night at Baltimore. Probably going to be chilly there at the very least. And so maybe a little preparation for that outside here at the Star in the backyard. Maybe later in the week, the Cowboys will go indoors to Ford Center, but right now outside, and we'll be there too. Then they'll come in and get some of their usual meeting business done, and then they will gather together and watch the Steelers-Baltimore game. As Coach Mike McCarthy said just moments ago, it's a unique opportunity to watch a team that you're going to play right in advance of when you play them and be able to see it all live and be able to see it all together. And so they will, the players and coaches will move into pods. They won't put 80 people all crammed in the same place, but they will all be watching together in a sense as part of the scouting of the Ravens. And then comes Thursday, and obviously more preparation for the Baltimore game, for the trip, the game planning, who's healthy, all the rest, the monitoring of COVID, which is part of the reality of where we are. But then this, the Markus Paul funeral is scheduled for 10 a.m. At a church in the Colony. He will, after that, be interred back home in Florida. But as part of the new normal here, Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, the Cowboys will not be in meetings. They will not be doing media. They will not be practicing. They will be involved in virtual attendance of the Markus Paul funeral. Logistically speaking, you can imagine there's probably 100 people in this building that want to attend the funeral in person. That probably doesn't make sense. I would point out my mom passed away recently, February 15th. And we still haven't had a funeral for her. There's no way to really do it the way we want to do it. She has family in Minnesota, she has family in Colorado, and she's got family here. And so we're planning on, now we've moved it twice, now we're planning on June 5th in Colorado to try to have a celebration of life. And people will come, of course, from all across the country, I'm proud to say, to honor my late mom. Well, Markus Paul. People from all over the country love to somehow be a part of celebrating his life on Thursday morning. But the Cowboys, who are just 7 minutes away from the church as we sit here today, will do the same thing that the rest of us, by and large, are doing. They're not going to risk being in a large group with people that they do not come in normal contact with people that they not know. And so the attendance of Markus Paul's funeral for the Cowboys will be virtual. Obviously, his family and others very close to him will be there. And then after that sad event, and of course, most of us have been through this now enough. If you're a person of a certain age anyway, you kind of can make peace with the idea of a celebration of life. And we'll see, whatever the Paul family wants, that's what this will be here. But certainly, as you've heard over the course of the last week, so many of the people that knew Markus Paul on a very personal level, talking about his spirit and his personality and his intellect and his drive and his smile. And it would certainly be fitting if someone chose to celebrate Markus Paul's life. He certainly influenced so many others' lives. And so that will be Thursday morning at 10, and then the Cowboys will get back to work and do what we all must do, which is try to find a way to be inspired by this kind of loss. That did not work out for the Cowboys, obviously, Thursday night. That would have been a grand plan to celebrate the life on Thursday against Washington and honor Markus Paul with success. I work on the assumption that, like most football people, he would have loved that. Didn't work out that way. Maybe it can work out that way in Baltimore. I would say this, by the way, in defense, I guess, of how stunned the Cowboys were by all of this. And Mike McCarthy was drained by it, no question about it. You could see that on Thursday night. You could see it still again Friday in our conversation with him. And on Monday on 105.3 The Fan, same. Ezekiel Elliott talking after the game on Thursday, drained. Just didn't have much left. And so the passing of Markus Paul did not work out to be an inspiration. It turned out to be just such a sadly tragic event for so many of these guys. And my wife made this point. We talk about people of a certain age, and I'm not saying that I have some magical way of accepting my mom's death. There's nothing magical about it. It was horrible. But you're in the weight room here at the Star, and your mentor and your leader is over there, and he's doing his work, and he's 54, and he's in about as good a shape as anybody in this building, including pro football players. Of course, Markus Paul himself was an All-American at Syracuse alongside Daryl Johnston, of course, and then played 4 or 5 years in the NFL. And as a strength and conditioning guy, you can imagine, in shape. And then whatever sound that emanates from that corner, whatever sight that you see in that corner, and you're a 22-year-old football player, 22-year-old person, probably never seen anything quite like that, probably never heard anything quite like that. And so for that 22-year-old, not to mention a 42-year-old or a 62-year-old, to be stunned by that action, that sadness, that loss, that noise, that sight, not trying to defend 41-16, but I think that does help explain it. We're all going to experience something like that. It's all very painful when we do, and then hopefully we find a way to learn from it and grow from it. For this group of Cowboys, young and old, on the roster and on the staff, they will now spend the next 24 hours in one of the strangest football periods imaginable. Practice on a Wednesday, virtually attend a funeral on Thursday, only after having watched Monday night, Thursday night, Wednesday night football as a group, but in pod clusters, not too much in a group. Then again, the funeral, then get back to practice, and then try to find a way to get your helmet on straight, get your bags packed, and go to Baltimore for a 3-8 team that still thinks maybe, just maybe, at a Baltimore team that the last time we checked had 23 guys on their roster who are COVID sick. You know, that's a very talented team, very good team, defending MVP in Lamar Jackson, but it's wobbly right now. And then you're going to do this. You talk about that body clock that football people have. Hey, this is the time we get up in the morning. This is the time we eat. This is the time we practice. This is the time we lift. We play on Sundays. It's a little weird, but sometimes we play on Mondays or Thursdays, especially this team. This team's used to it. Well, now your football body clock is going to have you playing on a Tuesday at what's going to feel like a weird time on a weird day in a strange environment, football and more environment. Thank you for joining us here inside the Star. Thank you for subscribing to what we do. Please tell your friends that when you want Dallas Cowboy information and the straight dope, that you know where to get it from Fish at the Star. fish out.